Greetings and welcome to Typica Magica. My name is Tiffany and it's so lovely to be here with you today, and thank you to everyone who is joining me on this magical journey of my channel. So a little bit about me if you missed my first video. So I'm Tiffany, also Typica Magica, and I am a trance medium and a channeler and also what some might call an ascension coach, and also I'm practicing to be a shaman as well. And I'm here really to help you and assist you with this great experience. We're all here together on planet Earth, and hopefully, because I know a lot of people are starting to wake up and ask questions about, you know, existence, consciousness, and, you know, little signs and frequency, all little things that are happening at the moment, because I'm noticing a massive scale change of energy where everything is just kind of going through the roof at the moment, and more people are kind of waking up to this now, and it's really exciting. And from my own experience as well, and being there as well, and going through my own journey and still going through my own journey, you know, the many questions that I had to ask in the beginning, and I'm really hoping these videos will be able to help and assist you on your spiritual awakening and spiritual journey. So yeah, we're covering the weird, the wonderful, we're covering the fairy realms, we're covering starseeds, we're covering everything that's magical and mystical. There isn't a subject that we're going to cover, but please also, can I just make it clear in advance that, you know, no matter what, this channel is not going to go against anyone's beliefs. Everyone is entitled to their free will and beliefs, okay? So I do not like to have any hate or anything on this channel, and I ask everyone to respect that as well. But again, thank you and welcome. So right, here we are on the first proper video of Typica Magica. So my fellow star children, my fellow way showers, and those that are, what we say, following this mystical magical path, let's get into it. So what you need to know about, well, more so, instead of what you need to know about me, how about I tell you from my personal experience when I discovered about being a starseed. And this is not something that you just have an epiphany overnight. Well, actually, it depends really on the agreements you have before you come down here, but that is something that we're going to go into on other videos as well. Might also as well hit up as well if you wish to look at other great people out there that give you really good information on starseeds, and bless her heart, because she's a spirit, Dolores Cannon, wonderful woman who also, you know, accesses knowledge as well through her you know, hypnotherapy. And so it's now getting a thing now where it's becoming more and more and more and more known than what it was, say, about 30 years ago, you know, and now it's becoming even more, well, people are waking up to this concept. It's not really a concept, really, it's more of a knowing inside. And do you know what I say? Well, let me talk about my experience first. And, you know, so far my journey of what I call the Book of Tiff, basically. So I first remember, of course, reincarnating, so I'm very grateful that I was given that memory and that experience. So I remember reincarnating, and my guide was with me, who I know is that my guide now as I have gone further into my awakening and with my channelings and my mediumship and my meditations as well, and connecting to certain energies as well. That this is my guide, and who I've lovely energy, but a male guide, and he was what I call a light being, and ever so tall, couldn't really see his features, but the light that came off this being was just absolutely beautiful, translucent light almost. And he was very tall, and dressed in white robes as well. I know, very typical, I know. But he was there with me, and what I can say what it was it was just like being in purple clouds, or a lot of purple energy. And there was a screen there, and my mother and father, at their normal Christmas party they used to do many moons ago, he turned around, he said to me, "This is the family you've chosen. Are you sure you want to go with this family?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure I want to go to this family." And he said, "Well, we're giving you this memory, so when the time comes, you will always know where you're from." And then, boom, I was born, and into the third dimensional Gaia, planet Earth, that we are here today. And going into my experiences, because this is something that has followed me around from childhood. Now, the first thing I say is, with starseeds as well as me, my childhood was, what I say, different. It's very common for starseeds to reincarnate or incarnate into lines that are a lot of generational trauma, generational karma. It's very common to also incarnate into families that have very strict rules or very stern, what I want to call, belief systems, which could be in religion or it could be in the way that they were brought up. But we tend to be, you know, some may not, but a lot of us here tend to reincarnate into what you want to say somewhat dysfunctional families, which never really felt were true to our own beliefs, you know. So we always kind of feel like that we're the black sheep of the very, so much how I felt was always being the black sheep from, I guess probably not meant to say that actually now, so apologies if this has caused any insult at all, but you know what I mean. Basically different from the crowd, never really feeling like you fit in. And you know, as a child, I mean, don't get me wrong, my family, my mother and my father, I mean, they've passed away now, very lovely people, but my father came from a childhood where, let's just say that there was a lot of emotional abuse that went on as well, you know. So it's kind of like a timeline that goes back in the family, and also on my mum's side as well. So we tend to reincarnate into families that are a lot of generational karma or trauma as well. And the reason why we've come into those family lines is very important for our awakening as we go push further into the quest of our own truth, but also as well is because that we have come also to heal these, what you want to say, these generational lines as well of this, because what we know is with generational trauma that it is passed on, but it's very much in shamanic teachings, and you know there's plenty of other teachings that talk about that, and it's very well known. We call it Akashic karma, ancestral karma, you know, and that is kind of like put into the generational bloodlines and so forth and so forth. So we choose these families specifically to come into them because we are going to clear, you know, and stop that never-ending pattern. But also starseeds as well, as soon as for me, I never felt like I could fit in at all, and I couldn't understand it. I knew I had this memory, I knew, and I felt I don't belong here, I don't understand it. I felt like I was on the wrong place, ever so confused, not understanding, you know, why this earth was the way that it was, and just feeling completely outcast or feeling like I shouldn't be here, but I know I'm meant to be here, but it just doesn't feel right to me. The other things that you feel as well is knowing, and you know deep down, the same with me, that I've come here for a reason, and it was ever so engraved in me, and from a child, I am here for a reason. I don't know what it is, but I've come here to do something which I know is very important to do, and we must get it right. That is because, as we know, starseeds, we are, you know, we have, what you say is consciousness, as we're all multi-dimensional consciousness, but we have had lifetimes on places that are not of Earth, so commonly places that we know in starseed communities as well, different star systems, or different parallel realities as well, such as Pleiades, Arcturus. So we have had lifetimes that I've not been on this earthly plane. We have had lifetimes elsewhere, and you know, these beings, from my experience as well, they are so much more advanced than us on a spiritual level, as well as a technological level as well. And my experience, again, there's a multitude of beings I've been privy to have experiences with them. You know, you get a mixture of good and bad, but we'll go into that as well as we get longer into these videos as well, getting really into the nitty-gritty. So you know, it's you know, so we come from these places that are not from here, so us, well, what we remember is it's very different over there, you know. There's from my memories, there is no crime, so we don't have problems like that, you know. People don't, there is no hate, there is no war, there isn't anything, you know. It's very, very different. So, and we come into a planet that is, well, very far behind, you know, in the awakening or consciousness as it has been, and it's not meant to be this way. It did go downhill in the Atlantean times, but it's, you know, being on a planet, you know, as we come from a certain level of vibration, and we've come down to agree to assist, to help on this planet, to help with the great awakening that this planet is going forward. So if you can imagine being on this frequency and then coming down to that frequency, it's a major drop. And especially as starseeds as well, we are incredibly incredibly, my apologies, incredibly empathic. And you know, I mean, we're all empathic to a extent, but especially starseed children are incredibly sensitive. And the thing is, though, now these days, it's unfortunate. Again, I'm not putting this, everyone is open to their own beliefs, but it's very common, you know, a lot of star children, star seeds as well, they've had labels put on them with being ADHD, autistic as well. And of course, I'm not, you know, questioning anything about, you know, medical, again, this channel isn't about that, of course, you know. So but it's a lot of star children are put into those categories because they are see the world in a different place. So they see things more in emotions and with more feelings as well, and see things with pictures, and very, very, very creative. But we're incredibly empathic, and then we come into this consciousness and we agree to like not particularly have to memories, you know, of where we are from, just some do, and not understanding. So we are so empathic, but we pick up on everyone's emotions. If you imagine that you're a 4-year-old, 5-year-old child and you're picking up on all these emotions and not understanding, you're tending to feel there's something wrong with you, and you're picking up these energies from all these people around you, and you think that you are the problem. Because a lot of empaths, we end up picking up on other people's emotions and not realizing that those emotions are not actually ours, it is theirs, and we mistake it for our own. But we can pick up and we can feel the energies of other people. And specifically, you know, in the schooling as well, you know, a lot of children are not always, children are very awake and aware, but you know, people pick up on energies that are different with frequencies going out. So them sensing that, and I never felt that I could fit in. It didn't matter how much I tried, you know. I used to have a plan every year, like, yes, I'm going to get friends this time, but it just didn't work out for me. But that's okay, because I now know later on within my journey, but it used to be heartbreaking for me, not understanding, thinking that I was a weirdo, I was a freak, and why is it that I saw things so differently. I started having psychic experiences as a child as well, and I used to have sea spirits everywhere I went, you know, memories. I used to be astral projecting as well, and experiences with that, you know, people like friends of the family that had passed away would come to me in my dreams and let me know they passed away, and we get the call in the morning. And as a child, I actually thought that maybe it was my fault that people were passing away, because I seemed to knew, and I just ended up feeling like there was something completely wrong with me, completely different. I ended up also had dreams as well. Starseeds, we have dreams of planets and lifetimes, you know, that are different from here, and not really understanding. But as a child, I used to try and find entries or doorways out of this planet because I wanted to go back home, and I didn't know where that meant, but it just didn't feel here. I even had experiences as a child, you know, I saw the Fae, and I had experiences with that as well, and with angels as well. And again, I'll go more into my contactee experiences. You can check out another channel, which I'll go into further, okay, about my experiences with that. But I used to have beings come into my room as a child as well, and I do very vividly remember that. So all these experiences follow me around as well. Again, you know, I tend to be born into dysfunctional families. So my family, as lovely as they were, they had a lot of generational trauma, a lot of generational karma, you know, and our parents, they don't always realize it, but they end up, you know, bringing that forward onto us. But we put in love and we put in forgiveness no matter what, you know. And therefore what happens is, you know, as we get older, we go into what you want to call puberty, and then we kind of shut that out because we want to kind of fit in with everyone. And even though it doesn't matter what, and you know, it goes great because I did the whole thing. I went blonde. I decided to, you know, get a fake ID, you know, because I wanted to be with all the cool people, and just completely run away from completely as to my original, because I felt that, you know, who I really was never going to be accepted, was never going to be, you know, being me and being weird and wonderful, and you know, with the things that I loved, that it didn't work out being here on this planet because they didn't like people like me, and it was very hurtful. So I did everything I could to change my appearance, to changing the things that I was into, just so I can fit in. But you know what, it didn't actually get me anywhere. All it did was lead me further and further away from my path, and still feeling uncomfortable. And you know, I went through unfortunately, I went through a lot of trauma as well. I ended up losing my mother and my father, and then I started to really go forward with my spiritual awakening. And somebody came to me and said to me, "You are a starseed," and I didn't know what, but it resonated with me so much. It just switched on like that. I thought, hang on a minute, you know, the reason why I was drawn to the stars, the reason why animals were drawn to me, you know, things like the experiences I had as a child. And I thought, hang on a minute, no, there wasn't a child of an over imaginative, you know, imagination. That there was something to that. I couldn't tell, but it resonated with me in here. It was like an alarm bell had gone off, and I was like, whoa, okay. And I became obsessed and engrossed in it. Like, what is it? Is this the answer? This is why I don't feel so normal, you know, why I had as a child, you know, dreams of past life experiences. Is this the answer to what is going on, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, I had I remember my father passed away, and I'll be honest with you, I went down in a little bit of path of the dark night of the soul, you know, which was part of my journey, which I now understand why that is, and certain, you know, choices that I made, which were very, very part as to who I am now, and my experiences that brought me here now to you today, is that, you know, bear with me, had a little bit of a channeling moment going on there, but it, you know, it brought me to really realize, and then I went into that spiritual awakening. So I ended up going on a path of self-destruction almost, you know. So it didn't matter what anyone would tell me, I was on self-destruct, I would do it the way that I wanted to do it. And then I had the beings come to me again for my first experience. Well, not my first, because I had them around as a child, but they came to me and they told me, you know, to move out of that path because it was time, and to look at the blue star prophecy. And they introduced themselves as the Pleiadians, and I had no idea what was this blue star prophecy. You know, you don't just normally get things like that in dreams, right? And I looked it up, and it was the blue star Hovi prophecy. It was about the people that are here from the higher dimensions, the stars, who have come here to incarnate to help with the Great Awakening. From my memory flash, I thought, wow, okay, I remembered this, and I couldn't understand it, but I just knew. And it's not something that you can just say, oh, hang on a minute, I want to be a starseed, that's how it's going to go. No, we're all starseeds in a way, to be honest with you, because we all come from the stars, so we are all part of that consciousness energy. But it was the resonation, the wake-up call. I then all of a sudden was seeing numerology everywhere, numbers like 222, 333, 444, 555, 666. 1111, as we all know, is a major one, and isn't it horrible when we're waiting for 1111, but it says 1112 and we're like, no. But anyway, but everything just switched on. I then all of a sudden, you know, I became so engrossed, and just and that was the proper start of my awakening now, because I was like, shit, I have to follow this, I need to find out, this is, I just know, you know, and like, and my abilities all of a sudden just, you know, so I started to look further into things, because as we do, we've got a little quest for knowledge, as I like to say, you know, and we look in, and also as well with Starseeds, you know, we try to fit into different religions as well, and we still don't find that it works for us. Again, I'll just reiterate this, okay, please, this is not against anybody's religion or personal beliefs. This is just from my own experience and from other people's experiences. So please, I'm not against anyone's, okay, this is a channel that's open for everyone. So please, I send my love, so much love there. But from, you know, we can find, okay, that we will try different things of fitting in with religions and not letting it just didn't work out. I was told because I went to a Catholic school, I was told that because I was a redhead, it was a sign of the devil. Well, that screwed me over. So I just could never really understand, really, you know, and felt, I decided, you know, I'm going to follow my own way, in a way. And, you know, and as this awakening went on, all my abilities, and I can't explain this, but I was getting, again, you know, synchronicities that were happening over and over and over again. And I couldn't explain it. I even went for a phase where electrics were malfunctioning around me. And yes, I know that probably seems a little bit woo-woo, but it used to drive my mother crazy that we'd go through 10 light bulbs a week, because if I touched a light, it would just go bang, you know. And you know, then I'd have more experiences. I had visitations astrally from the Arcturians. I was getting all these things coming through, these downloads as well, and my abilities just opened up like no tomorrow, and I was receiving. And the thing is that when you're going into trance or clairvoyance as well, again, I teach this at my classes called the Celestial Grove, by the way. I will be taking that online at some point, but we start to, when you open up, it's like and it was just coming in like, well, what can I say, like electricity, vision after vision after vision after vision after vision that was happening. You know, I started having dreams of things that were going to happen before they even happened, and then they happened the next day. All of these have contributed to that. And now as I've gone further into my awakening, you know, and my life has transformed so much, you know, and understanding here that we are all part of the same consciousness. And this is what we're here to do as Starseeds. We go through a lot of emotional trauma in our lives, but we are to learn from these experiences so that we can help and heal others. A lot of us have come here with the divine purpose to be teachers, that have come here to be leaders, that have come here to be healers, who have come here to be poets, and, you know, and just the best advice to say is just live your dream and purpose and what makes you happy, because the most important thing on this earth is love and light and being happy, and we are the only ones that stop us from doing that. We are our own worst enemy. Yes, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on this planet. Look, I could go into what's really going on, okay, and yeah, there's some pretty dark stuff out there, and the thing is that I could tell you all of that, but there really isn't much point, because there's plenty of people out there that and I take my hats off to them. Please, they are very brave people, but you know, the most important thing is, you know, no matter what's going out there in the world, it's zoning out from that, you know, the theatrics are being shown around us, and going within and following that path, that intuition, that inner consciousness. This is your toolbox. This will tell you what to do, okay? Yes, we kind of are in this reality that we can program and do whatever we wanted to do by creating our own realities, but we are basically, in words as it is, we are consciousness having a physical experience who has forgotten that they are consciousness and part of this vast energy, and just really we are so magical. There's so much. So I really hope from my own experience, okay, oh, again, let me just go a little bit more, you know, as I've gone, then my mother passed away, and I was really shown by the universe. I went for another dying night of the soul that, you know, my life in London and everything, it wasn't my resonation anymore. It wasn't working out for me, and I had to go forward onto a new beginning and let go of all the things that didn't serve me. And my God, has it been a roller coaster, and it is only the beginning, but it's so very exciting. And the more I've come into my purpose, and with my mediumship as well, you know, from my guides as well, I've been told to start teaching. And the thing is that I'm seeing there's wonderful people out there, but I really hope that my channel, you know, my videos can really be there to assist others, you know, from someone else who is an experiencer, and for people that are now just going through this and thinking, what the F is going on? I don't know what's going on, but I'm seeing things I don't understand, and I'm feeling these things, and I want to find my purpose. My brother Jamie, he's now having his, well, Jay I call him, he's having his spiritual awakening, and I'm seeing all the things that I went through when he was going through that. And because we're now in such a wonderful time, and everyone is starting to wake up to themselves, you know, let's just go on this amazing journey together and wake up and make this a beautiful planet that it is, and you guys be the most, just remember how unique and wonderful you are. Go out there and manifest, do what you love, and that is the most important thing. But anyway, I hope that my channel will be out there to help those who need it at this time, and that I can assist you in any way in this journey, because it brings me so much joy and happiness to see others waking up to their divine purpose and being happy. Thank you. It's Tiffica Magica. By the way, you know I'm a bit like on promo, but you know, I'll do it anyway. So if you want to know where this little outfit, this quirky number is from, I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit Shein man. This is from Shein, my bow is from Shein, bracelets from Shein, this is from Temu, and yeah. And so what I'll do is, okay, if you look on the link below, okay, you'll find a little link from Shein, okay, where you can get some discounts on some clothes. You know, go for it. You know, at the end of the day, if it's going to make you guys feel really wonderful and boost up your confidence, hey, why not get a dress that's a bit more cheaper from me. So thank you. I love you all. I'm really looking forward to doing the next video with you guys. Like, subscribe, share, follow, you know, and just thank you for being with me on this wonderful journey. Thank you, and remember, keep being the magical stars and the wonderful, beautiful light beings that you are.